You know what's crazy? I actually had a lot of hope that Dragon Ball Super would get good. And I'm talking about the manga. The anime has been gone for a while now, but I've really been reserving a lot of just like faith in the series. Just that, you know what? It's inconsistent. The characters turned into hot garbage, and just everything that I used to love about Dragon Ball in the sense of just it being over exaggerated martial arts to now this very awkward and janky like empowerment fantasy. Like I still had hope that maybe Moro, right, would be the thing to really truly take the series into like a different direction because like I actually like Moro's archetype where he's just like a martial artist alongside like he uses like mysticism, right? Kind of like a Majin Buu. Cuz that's Majin Buu whole motif, right? Like he was a fighter but at the same time like mysticism was incorporated into his fighting style, which I thought was super dope and super cool. But wow, after reading this new chapter, like I have the chapter on my phone still, just for just I read it a few times, just went through back and forth, and I'm just like, Jesus Christ, this series really gone to fucking shit, man. Like, it's just like I remember when everybody was kind of upset about the whole like revamping or I guess the remake for Devil May Cry where it was just like these characters for the most part is somewhat unrecognizable. Like they obviously are hollow versions of what we remember them to be off of the original Devil May Cry series, right? And I'm only using Devil May Cry as an example, but I feel like that's what Dragon Ball Super is. Like it's a very very hollow version of Dragon Ball Z and arguably even Dragon Ball because at least when it comes to those two series or its predecessors, like at least a overall theme was established and embedded in them. Like I'm not going to sit here and make the argument that like Dragon Ball Z was leagues better or Dragon Ball was leagues better, but I feel like overall like the central theme of where the author or where they wanted the storytelling to kind of like pave its way, it made a little bit more sense overall, like archetypically, right? Where like each arc build up to something. Not anything extravagant or mind blowing, but it led to something. Like it led to something nice. It led to something pretty wholesome at the end of the day for a lot of characters. But for Super, it's just like shit is happening, and the context of why this stuff is happening is just it's just nonsensical. Like it's one of those things where it's just like this is happening to happen now. It's no longer like Goku is the catalyst for why these things are happening. It's more like it's happening to happen. I guess you could make the argument that in the Tournament of Power that was kind of Goku's fault. Like this is why everybody hated him at one point, right? Like you're the dickhead that made this a thing. Like we have to fight each other for survival now. You fucking idiot. But like that sucks because Goku to me like again like that's a completely unrecognizable trait of Goku when I'm thinking about like Dragon Ball Z, mind you, where like Goku is out of his adolescence. Like he's more of a father. He's a well, contrary to popular beliefs of how much of a father Goku is, but at the end of the day, like he does have his kids' best interest at heart, and like we transition from him kind of like embodying what it means to be like a man and kind of mean what it means to be like a savior in a sense and what it means to be like a I guess an overall role model to the people that surround him. We transition to him doing this. So like just I'm going on a tangent, but whatever. Like just talking about like this recent chapter 65. I'm just like I just thought everything was really bad. Like it wasn't interesting. Like for me, um I haven't really been into fighting shows since I want to say middle school. Like middle school was probably the no, ooh, that's a lie. High school, like towards the end of my high school year, like I would probably say like maybe my junior year of high school, I kind of like phased out of the whole like fighting scene when it comes to anime and that being like the sole catalyst of why I enjoy the medium so much. Like I kind of deviated from that and kind of like found other things that I found more interesting. But it was one of those things where it was just like DBZ going back and rewatching it during my high school years and stuff like that, kind of dabbling with it like during my college years and stuff like that. There was so much more like beautiful context to these characters that obviously isn't talked about because the most important thing that people love to talk about in Dragon Ball Z is just fighting, the power ups, the arbitrary number system that Dragon Ball Z or Akira Toriyama established for these characters, just so fans can kind of have their field day with like who's stronger, how could they get stronger, and what's considered to be strong in the anime space, right? But this, I feel like it did that for Goku because obviously like we're getting to see Goku Ultra Instinct, right? Like a unachievable move by a mortal, sought out move by gods, right? Or gods of destructions, or anybody with a godlike presence. Like that's a move that people sought out. Goku was able to master it. Cool. But I feel like to get to that point, we lost a lot of the character in Goku. Like a lot of a character. And I saw it all over this. Because it was just like Goku to me wasn't the most intelligent when it comes to book smarts, and I feel like that's always been like my argument to my friends and just people I talk to in Dragon Ball Z. Yes, Goku is not book smart. Like he cannot tell you the capital of the United States. Like Goku is not that type of person. But like now I feel like we've completely just removed the common sense of the character now because I feel like you have to understand like at least Goku even in the past had common sense. I would argue even some of the notable scenes that people would kind of like throw at me to say like Goku, this doesn't make sense to do. Like even within the context of the situation, it wasn't that bad. Like let's say for instance, right, or let's talk about bits and pieces of the chapter, right? Chapter 65 of Dragon Ball Super. So when Goku offered Moro a sensu bean, to me that made no sense, and it didn't coincide with the character of Goku at all. Because like let's take all the examples, right, of Goku giving giving an enemy a sensu beam in the canonical story, right? So let's just take the example of when he fought Cell or whatever, right? When he fought fucking Cell, right? Cool. He gave Cell a sensu beam. To me, in that context, and context do matter. For me, in that context, it made a lot of sense because it was supposed to be a motivating thing for actually like the way how I saw it. It was more of a motivating thing for Gohan than it was to actually heal Cell. Because, like, Goku had the utmost confidence in Gohan to the point where it didn't matter if Cell was full powered or not. He believed that Gohan would be able to topple him without question. So that was the thing. Goku already knew Cell was beat for him. And yes, logically speaking, it made more sense to let Gohan fight a weaker version of Cell, but he didn't want Gohan to get babied. And I feel like that's the kind of tough love that I always like expected of Goku when it comes to his children. Like, you know, like I'm here to be tough on you because I'm your dad. So like I'm not going to cut corners, just like how I wouldn't cut corners for myself, so I wouldn't expect you to for me to cut corners for you. So like that's how I kind of saw it. So the context did matter in that situation where like why Goku gave Cell a sensu beam. That's how I kind of like, you know, chopped it up to be. Cool. But then you have the Frieza moment where Goku gave Frieza some energy. A completely incapacitated enemy. A completely arrogant enemy. Because that's the thing about Frieza and Goku's dynamic and why I kind of do somewhat like it in Dragon Ball Super. Where it's just like, Frieza is just that spoiled kid. Like, Frieza is that spoiled kid, silver spoon in his mouth that never got beat up, like, or bullied or whatever like that. So his lens on life is very, like, narrow and arrogant. So, like, I understand why, like, inevitably, like, Goku just felt sorry for him. Because he's, in Goku's eye, that's the embodiment of what Goku finds pathetic. You know, like, because at this point, it's just like, you're a big baby lashing out. And, like, the reason why you want to feel big or the reason why you feel big is because, like, you just naturally are stronger than most people. So you can oppress them. You can just overpower them. Like, you have no sense of morals or ethics when it comes to the sense of how you garner your power or kind of how you utilize your power. It's more of a sense like, oh, I'm strong, so I'm better than you. So Goku took pity on that. Context mattered. But now it's like, going back to this chapter, it just made no sense. Like, why? Like, why at all? Like, why give him a sensu beam? Why give him a chance? Why talk to Moro? Like, the context at all, like, in the whole chapter, it just didn't make any sense. Like, he's literally just, like, I don't, like, the reasoning just didn't make sense. Because, like, for the Gohan and Cell thing, right? Like, I get it. I'm making the argument. If you guys want to dispute the argument, that's 100% fine. But I'm making the argument it was a confidence thing, right? For Cell, it was a pity thing. And for Moro, it was just like a why? Like, what was the context behind that? Like, why would you fully restore him? Like, even if, check this out. Even if, right? Even if it was more of a pity situation with Moro, right? Where Goku just felt sorry for him, right? Why not just incapacitate him? Make sure he's incapacitated, like can't do anything. When Goku gave Frieza energy, you have to remember, Frieza lost half of his body. Like, Frieza was damn near dead. Like, Frieza couldn't do anything. Like, I mean, even if Frieza survived the explosion, which he did, so Frieza survived the explosion. They picked up his dead corpse, or they picked up his half dead corpse. Like, he couldn't do much. Like, he had to literally undergo like massive surgery, massive like cyborg like like augmentations being like thrown at him and stuff like that. Like, it's crazy the thing that they had to end up doing to Frieza after the fight with him and Goku. But Moro, it wasn't like that. Like, it was kind of just like Moro plead for his life. Goku kind of like half-assed the job and was just like, here's a sensu beam, leave. And I'm just like, Goku, no way. You can't seriously be doing this. And obviously, like, it was just one of those things where it was super distasteful. Like, it was really, really distasteful. Because it's one of those situations where it's just like, why? Why? Like, just seriously, just like, why though? And the context didn't follow up. And obviously, like, as the chapter go on, DB's super fashion, like, fight. Moro ends up getting some of the, I guess, energy, essence, whichever you want to call it, like the essence of the angel that they were fighting, or the angel that trained Goku. I completely forgot his name. Like, these characters are super forgettable. Like, I really don't care for them all that much, honestly. But he gets the essence of the angel that trained Goku, and now Moro has access to like the Ultra Instinct technique, right? Cool, cool. It is what it is, right? The fight must go on. To entertain people, bullshit must happen, but or just nonsensical stuff has to happen to just continue the story or whatever. Cool, but then I'm just watching this whole thing and I'm just like, okay. They're evenly matched. Moro obviously, just stealing power doesn't mean you are powerful. Stealing is still stealing, so obviously your body cannot handle or contain all that extra energy that is trying to dish out. So obviously, like, there's a massive hiccup. Like, his body is kind of contorting, morphing and stuff like that because it can't handle all that energy. Cool. So towards the end of the chapter, we get to a point where it's just like, all right, so he fused with Earth, and now Goku is in this massive dilemma. How do you beat Moro when he's fused with the thing that you live you fused with the thing that you live on? So it was one of those things where it was just like, I thought it was like, all right, it was okay, that's interesting. I want to see how Goku gets out of this one, because this is going to be a very, very interesting conclusion to this whole arc. Because I don't want to say they written themselves out of a corner, but I definitely, like, I'll still read it, but I'll definitely want to see how they kind of get out of this one. Because at this point, it's kind of just like, what can you do? Like, wish for another Earth, kind of like how they did in GT. Like, I really don't know at this point. Like, but like I said, like, Dragon Ball Super has always been this mishmash ball of just random stuff happening and just nothing previously kind of piggybacking on what's currently happening and stuff like that. They all keep everything like it's an isolated event. Like, everything is separate from one another. So, yeah, like, that chapter was really just, it was something. Like, I didn't hate it. Didn't really care for much of the fighting, because fighting in DBZ is just fighting in DBZ. Like, there's nothing really cool about fighting in DBZ. Dudes throw a couple of punches and then things just happen. Like, the context behind some of the fighting is what really makes Dragon Ball enjoyable, because I feel like context in Dragon Ball, it really does matter, because sometimes, like, and this is why I didn't find Cell as an enjoyable villain, because he kind of was just one of those things that just popped up. Like, Cell was just a villain that just popped up. And he was just like, "What's up, bitches? Like, I'm here to fight, and I want to fight." And I'm just like, "Okay, cool. That's cool or whatever." But yeah. So that's my thoughts on the chapter. I'm not gonna sit here and give it like an arbitrary like number score or letter score or something like that. Like, I feel like depending on how you like it, you like it. If you didn't, you didn't. If you like it, you like it. But it was one of those things where I just found just very just like disappointing. Like, it's just super disappointing. Like, I'm definitely gun ho on my opinion of Dragon Ball should have just stayed ended. Like, after GT, they try to do like a futuristic attempt of like a time skip for some of these characters. Like, I felt like that should have definitely been the nail on the coffin for the series. But obviously, where there's money and where there's people, why not continue a series that doesn't need to be continued, right? Fuck it, fuck it. The money's there, so why stop? So yeah, That's it for the video. That's pretty much my thoughts. Kind of a random video, not really all that structured. But hey, the chapter wasn't structured, so fuck it. I'm not gonna be structured either. Like I'll just throw my ideas and thoughts out there and just see how you guys take to it. Definitely let me like I would love to honestly. I would love to hear the community's opinion. Like how did you guys feel about this chapter? Like I understand like everybody is super hyped about Goku achieving a transformation that means absolutely nothing. Because if this story keeps on going on, like eventually Ultra Instinct won't mean shit, and then he'll have to learn something new. So, and that's the issue with Dragon Ball. But we're not gonna get into all of that. But like, yeah, I understand like a lot of fans are excited that Goku mastered Ultra Instinct, which is cool or whatever like that. That's fine. But like, yeah, definitely let me know what you think. Let me know what you think about Moro as a villain. To me, I think he was a bag of wasted potential. They could have done so much more with this character, especially since he's a martial artist on top of uses mysticism. Because like that unique trait in Dragon Ball is not a prevalent thing. Like that's not something you constantly see in the series. Because the last character that we got in like that was like Majin Buu. So I thought Moro would have been more than what they portrayed him to be in the manga. But it is what it is. But yeah, I'd like to thank you guys for watching. Definitely, like I said, leave your thoughts in the comment section below, and peace. Let me shut this off.